Evil.
What else are your picks then?
Oh, well, Batman Inc., Batman Incorporated #4 by Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham came out, and was
I think we can all agree that's
fantastic.
pretty. It's a great comic series.
All four of us are reading this and have been for quite a while, so definitely something we all enjoy. And what'd you think?
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Chris Burnham's probably the best Morrison collaborator since Frank Quitely.
Yeah.
And he gets to just draw a bunch of people fighting in a giant house.
It's a pretty big brawl.
And it's fantastic.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned the Frank Quitely comparison. I feel like he actually is a bit like Frank Quitely, though not quite as exaggerated in his lumpy people and really weird fat Superman jaw and everything like he did in All-Star. But Chris Burnham's art it perfectly suits this comic because it is definitely not your standard Batman comic. Any Grant Morrison comic is usually not a very standard Batman comic. And it kind of helps differentiate between all of the other Batman series which a lot of them are pretty good. But between like say this or Scott Snyder's Batman run, it's definitely, Scott Snyder's Batman run is very clean and polished, and it's the flagship Batman comic book, whereas this is something else entirely.
In his book Super Gods, Grant Morrison mentioned he kind of didn't like the dark turn that comics took in the 80s with Alan Moore and
Frank Miller
writing Dark Knight, and basically turning the superheroes into these, ultra realistic storylines, and so
broody, and everything's dark,
and so
it's always raining.
And so his is like, he takes the basic premise of Batman, and then he just adds these surreal elements, but he keeps he keeps all the core stuff intact, so you still feel like you're reading a Batman comic, but it just rolls along with his own signature style to it that I really enjoy.
That's what I was thinking. It feels more lighthearted, even though a lot of the content is pretty brutal.
Oh yeah.
Well, earlier in the run, like the Professor Pig stuff or whatever.
Yeah, wow. Especially the early Batman.
Some heavy stuff, man, and yet at the same time, you're almost kind of laughing at it.
Yeah, I guess it might be the art. Maybe it's the colors.
And, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the art or the colors that.
Coloring, it has a bit to do with that. Nathan Fairbairn does a really nice job in this issue because there's smoke everywhere because the house is on fire.
Right.
Because of a motorcycle crash, which is amazing.
It does take a really good colorist to be able to pull something like that off and not just make it a big gray splotch in the middle of a page.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a fun comic.
And it feels dense.
But it has to.
For a $2.99 20 pager, they always feel like out of all the other, most of the other New 52 comics that you can buy for $2.99, this one really feels very dense. Yes.
Yeah, I counted the pages on that because I thought for sure it was an oversized, and it was 20 pages.
20 pages.
In and out, done.
Wow. Quick reads, but man, they're good.
I was going to say that even though it is issue 4, and technically it could be read by itself from issue 1, it's still part of Grant Morrison's epic Batman run of over 100 or so issues.
Going all the way back to
make sure
the Batman and Son collection.
Before that, seek out the Black Case book, which is his inspirations for, he collected all of his favorite weird Batman stories from the 40s and 50s and 60s and compiled them, and then those characters some of the characters in his Batman run are actually from forgotten DC strips.
60s Batman comics. Oh, genius.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Totally worth reading all of Grant Morrison's Batman run. Almost especially just so you can read Batman Incorporated, having all of the pieces in place beforehand.
Yep.
Because Batman Incorporated alone, I've been enjoying the whole time. It's been great Batman. So yes, all of us agree that everybody should.
Yes. Thumbs up all the way around.
Awesome.
What else were you thinking of?
Well, on a more negative note, Ultimate Comics All New Spider-Man, which is a terribly long title, 16.1 is
Another .1.
Yeah, it's a .1 in case you weren't aware that 16 other issues came out. You can jump on this issue that spoils the last 15, just in case. So
Right on.
it's just baffling, just the plot. There's a scene where a reporter's trying to figure out who the new Spider-Man is, who's a 12-year-old boy. That's not a spoiler. That's just
Everyone knows who's
knowing who the Spider-Man is. And she figures out that whoever Spider-Man is, he's related to a bad guy, and she's almost got it. She's almost figured out that the Spider-Man who looks like a 12-year-old might be a 12-year-old, and she thinks it's his dad, who's a 35-year-old man, who's clearly not a 12-year-old boy jumping around in a costume, and it's baffling how this could be, how nobody could catch this and say, hey, maybe that's not.
Maybe people won't believe that a reporter is going to get a 12-year-old in a costume mixed up with a 30-year-old in street clothes.
Yeah.
Because
So
there's no stature or height
Right.
difference.
No, and she's got video proof of Spider-Man, so there's not even, you couldn't even use that as a.
Not a milestone in Bendis's career of comics work.
It's really not.
Yeah.
David Marquez draws some pretty pictures, though.
Does
I
it?
was looking
Yes.
through it, and
Yeah.
the art is impressive.
He's
They've got some
got
cool
this.
panels.
We don't get to see it, but he's got this nice jerky motion that he gives to Spider-Man because he's a kid,
Oh,
where he
right.
always looks a little off balance whenever he's doing. And that's that's
He's still
yeah,
learning.
because he's an
Kid.
awkward 12-year-old
Right.
jumping around with superpowers.
Right.
And,
Can I just, speaking of awkward, can I just make a more general note about the Ultimate Comics line and how they have to put Ultimate Comics in front of everything? And of course, my biggest joke of all being Ultimate Comics Ultimates,
Yeah.
which was actually really not a bad comic for a while,
loved it.
but man, that's a mouthful.
And then they had Ultimate Comics,
Ultimates.
Ultimate Avengers
Oh,
with
geez.
Miller.
Yeah. So picking that thread back
Yeah.
up.
It's really great if you ignore all the word balloons. So.
Yeah, okay. So look at the pretty pictures, don't read the words, and you could probably justify paying $3.99 for that.
Well, no.
No, it was only $2.99. Impressive, Marvel.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Surprising. Anyway,
How about you, Nate?
how about me?
Unless there was anything else to throw in.
Well, Prophet was good. I like
Yeah.
Prophet.
Yeah,
Still
I like
good
Prophet
after-
too.
Yep.
I'm with you on that
That's
one.
got good art
Yes.
and good writing.
Yes.
Writing that doesn't make you want to wash your brain. It's a
Yay.
wonderful
Scrub.
thing.
Gotta scrub that thing, man. Okay, anyway.